Star Report. I am your host, Star. Good afternoon, early evening, wherever you may be. Okay, guys, I want to do a research show, and we will get back to the Star Report late night trending topics tomorrow, okay? Did Chinese people help create reggae music in Jamaica? Notice I'm saying create. Very different from the Hispanics who assisted Black people, whether they be FBA, ADOS, or African Americans, who created by themselves hip hop, which came out of bebop and other art forms. The Chinese people, in case you don't know your history, the Hakka, to be precise, Hakka, Hakka Chinese people, did they help create reggae music in Jamaica? So my approach with regards to research is very unorthodox. So I'm going to be jumping around, if you will, and moving at a slower pace. This is something I've been discussing over the decades with people, having worked at record labels for a decade. You know this already. I've always loved reggae music and even dance hall. I was in the dance hall clubs back in the 80s. You know this already. But reggae music and some of the forgotten pioneers who were Hakka Chinese people. What do you think? Do you know the history of reggae music? Do you know about ska music and rocksteady? Those came before reggae. Do you know some of the people who introduced certain rhythms and the bass guitar, for instance? Do you know who brought the electric bass guitar to Jamaica? And prior to this Chinese man, okay, everybody was playing the upright bass. I want to have this discussion with you guys. I'm not trolling. I'm as serious as colon cancer. And I've also decided to go to Jamaica. I know I've said over the years I have no interest in going to Jamaica, but I do want to go because it's changing. And before it totally becomes a different place, I want to see some of the places that I've always heard about, some of the places that your great-grandparents, parents, and others have experienced. It's changing, and a lot of that has to do with the mining that's going on, bauxite and aluminum. For those who don't know, Jamaica was the largest producer back in 1960 of bauxite. Yeah, and it's changing because they have run out of different places on the island, and they're now going into, hang on a second, where are my notes? They're now, if they haven't already, going into a place called Cockpit Country. If anyone is of Jamaican descent and you want to call in, please do so. You know I will let you talk. They're now going into Cockpit Country. Now, this is sacrilege to go in to that place, you know, which is, from what I've always known, what I've always seen, beautiful, looking for bauxite to turn into aluminum, okay? And the beaches that I do want to at least see with my own eyes. I know that there's a very small, I think it's 1%, maybe 2% of the islanders that can even go to certain beaches, that they're restricted. I think is it Steertown? Steer, Steertown. Again, I'm doing research. I'm trying to get some of this organized here. In Steertown, you've got corporations that are buying up land and what have you, and they're making it hard for, people, the islanders, locals, to even go to the beaches there. So this is my reasoning for now wanting to go before it becomes someplace totally, totally different. In the past, we have discussed Jamaica being in debt by way of the IMF. We've also spoken about over 75% of the food in Jamaica being flown in from Miami. They export very little with regards to food. So I want to see it before, certain groups take over, and in particular, the Hakka Chinese. Now, because of my title, did Chinese people help create reggae music in Jamaica? Please know this is the objective perspective. I'm not saying that that's necessarily a bad thing. I'm looking to get some type of confirmation because, again, reggae music combined with the things that I do want to see in Jamaica before it becomes a different place. That's what's motivating me to go there. So I'm looking for some type of insight, if you will, if anybody is from Jamaica. And I'm going to go down the list of people that you probably didn't know were Chinese with regards to sound systems. Tom the Great Sebastian. This is the man who was credited as starting the sound system, if you will, okay? Real name, Tom Wong, W-O-N-G, Wong. Okay, so back in 1950, this is the man who started, setting up sound systems, making it so that people who could not afford to have a phonograph in the home, they could come out and enjoy the music at that particular point in time. Tom Wong, a.k.a. Tom the Great Sebastian. According to my research, he supposedly committed suicide in the early 70s. I don't know if that's true or not, but he's deceased. He's been passed since the early 70s. Tom Wong, okay? Byron Lee. Have you guys ever heard of Byron Lee? Again, that's the man who brought the electric bass guitar into Jamaica, and he is credited as he and his group starting rocksteady music. Byron Lee. Now, I learned about him in the maybe mid 80s because myself being a bass player and being mesmerized by certain bass players throughout the 70s, whether it was John Entwistle from The Who, Cordell Monsoon, who played with Parliament Funkadelic, Mark Adams from Slave, who was one of my biggest influences, Chris Squire, who played with Yes, Aaron Mills, who played with Cameo. I'm just going to give you some little context here. Oscar Alston, who put Buffalo on the map. It wasn't just Rick James. Oscar Alston, one of the best by way of the Stone City Band. I saw them live, Madison Square Garden, on the Street Songs tour. He was brilliant, Oscar Alston. And then my top two favorite bass players, Bernard Edwards from the band Chic and Geddy Lee from Rush. But I learned about this guy, again, Byron Lee, in the early to mid 80s. An innovator, okay? Chinese. This is the man who, brought in that bass guitar that then gave way to reggae, later on. Some of you here in the States may or may not know, but most people in Jamaica, they know about Pat Chin, a.k.a. Miss Pat, okay? And Vincent Chin, record label owners. They didn't just own a record store. VP Records, give me some time to lay all this out. VP Records that we have come to know and respect over the decades originated back in Jamaica once upon a time, okay? It used to be Randy's record store in Kingston, Jamaica, okay? And then around 1979, they had to flee. They had to flee Jamaica. Now, when you hear Miss Pat speak about leaving her country because she was born in Jamaica, okay? She speaks about she says political unrest. She doesn't give, and I say this with all due respect, she doesn't give details about the Jamaican Chinese riots. And the last one was in 1965 that I know of. Jump in, guys, if anybody sees things different. Again, this is a research show. They left Jamaica 1979, started VP Records in Jamaica, Queens. And VP, in case you don't know, stands for Vincent and Patricia. Okay? So, and we're going to have to take some time and really talk about Miss Pat, a.k.a. Patricia Chin. Because she, if you ask me, Chinese, okay, if I didn't stress that, her mother was Chinese, her father was East Indian from Asia, okay, and her husband was involved in the music, in the studio, formulating the music along with the artist. And what's so unique about Miss Pat, who's still alive, according to my research here, she was the one who the marketing, the promotion, and setting up the network that VP Records has become over the decades. VP Records is, again, to my knowledge, still independently owned. They've got offices in New York, Miami, London, Kingston, of course, Tokyo, Johannesburg, and Rio de Janeiro. Now, it's also a distribution center, and this is key with regards to this research. A distribution center is where, people come to purchase the product. When I worked at WIA, I dealt with one-stops, mom and pops, the brick and mortar stores, and so on and so forth. So VP Records, which we will come back to, was key in the development. And you know what? I'm just going to jump out the window now and say the creation of reggae music. I'm saying yes. Chinese people helped create reggae music in Jamaica. If you see it different, call in. The phone lines open right now. So let's come back to VP Records and Miss Pat Chin. Okay. There's others. I mentioned Tom Wong, who they also call the sound system Don. Leslie Kong. If you know early reggae music, you know that name. Don't act like you don't. Leslie Kong. Okay, he's deceased as well. Tony Chin. And there's others. So not just playing the music, but formulating it so that it could reach the masses. That, if you ask me, is creating the system, the network. Not just sitting back and watching the black man do it, and then you go get a piece of cardboard and you start spinning on your head and you claiming you fucking pioneered something. Pardon me, I had to say that. So these are the things I want to put on the table early with regards to reggae music. I was given a huge plaque. Some of you may have seen it on my Instagram page from Island Records. It's a huge, I think it's 75 million albums and units sold, Bob Marley and the Wailers. It's also important to note with regards to the Chinese people, Hakka, again, and reggae music. Patricia Chen, who's, I think, what is she, guys? She's like 4'11". She's not even 5 feet. She knew Bob Marley and the Wailers before they became Rastas. And Peter Tosh admitted it. I saw Peter Tosh, an old documentary, where he was talking about why they were influenced by the United States, the Motown sound, and they were dressing like the Temptations. Right or wrong, can I get an amen? They had conchs in their hair. But because of the business mind of Patricia Chen, Bob Marley and the Wailers, well, at first they were the Wailers, you know this already. I truly believe I should pick up her book. I don't have her book. I am going to get it. Her brilliant mind of marketing this music, I'm sure she had an influence on how they made the shift to stop dressing like the Four Tops, Marvin Gaye, and these other people, and letting their hair lock up. All right? Okay, phone lines are open right now, but I want to take your calls. Also, guys, in case you're not up to speed, my showrunner, Philly radio host, fired over that Joe Biden interview. Woo! Are you up to speed? Let's just call her a mammy. Wow, huh? For those in the Philadelphia area, you already know WURD Radio, an independent black-owned talk radio station serving the Philadelphia area. Highly respected. Her name, Andrea Lawful Saunders. She's been fired. They let her go because she went on CNN and got to talk, and she got to doing too much. And she admitted that the 14-minute interview with Joe Biden after the debate with Donald Trump, my guy, that she accepted a list of questions. And they took issue with that because they serve the people in Philadelphia. It's one of the few black-owned, respected stations in the goddamn nation, WURD. So she really did the station and the listeners, according to station management, a disservice by taking those questions and helping Sleepy Joe. Okay, that's one of my showrunners. Also, guys, thank you for the donation. Whoever just tapped in, give me a second. I got to lay all this out. I also want to talk about Busta Rhymes scolding the audience at the Essence Fest. I didn't see it. I saw a little clip with him cursing on stage. Troll babies, were those FBA people, Foundational Black Americans in the audience who refused to stand for Busta Rhymes? Got him in his feelings. Okay. Research show, as I said, guys, did Chinese people help create reggae music in Jamaica? And I want to go to some of my notes here as well. Give me a second to get things set up and situated. 702, are you there? Earl, you will be my first caller if you're ready. 702.
Star, can I be heard?
Yeah. Good afternoon. Where are you calling from?
Good afternoon, Star. Calling from Jersey City right now. Just wanted to see if you got that donation, and that was me that put that through.
Okay. I just have to stress that it's early. Please, no profanity, or I'm going to have to push the button on you. This is a research edition. Are you discussing the topics?
Absolutely. I got notes, Star.
Come on, let's go.
Not only am we discussing the topics, I actually just mentioned you on a tweet that I put out.
Okay.
When is this? May 25th, where it says Jamaicans got their entire genres from Asians, if this is the case. Byron Lee and the Dragonaires own the electronics store Jamaicans would rent sound systems from all the way through dance hall. Oxtail breath. Yeah, I was clapping at somebody, but yeah, we go in on this one, Star. You bringing up something real interesting, especially someone coming from playing the bass. A background. We'll have to talk about that later. Grew up in Clark, New Jersey.
Okay.
You already.
Well, hang on a second. You mentioned the sound systems. Tom Wong. Tom Wong, the curator, if you will, of the sound systems in Jamaica. Yes, Tom Wong.
Correct, and that I believe further in his career, that's when he linked up with Byron Lee, and they had that little mix. Byron was doing mento back when Tom was doing the electronics.
That's right, mento. Yeah, I mispronounced it. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I thought it was real interesting when I went back to that, because you have a little bit of we getting into Busta Rhymes. We created rap, and it comes from dance hall and all of that. And a lot of people don't fall down this oxtail hole that you're digging here.
Oh, yeah. Well, listen, I mean, Busta Rhymes, like other people, if you ask me, they became more culturally conscious after they got the bag in America, after they assimilated to FBA culture, which is hip hop. They then started getting conscious and talking about back home, but you were born here. Let me ask you a question. There's a Jamaican woman. She's Chinese, but she's Jamaican. She's on social media, and she's been giving people smoke over the last year. Do you know what I'm talking about? Is her name Chin as well?
Yeah, see, what's really happening, Star, is if you pull it all the way back with the ethnicities, the Asians have been doing that down there since, dare I say coolies, but let's say since the Indians were being brought over to do work, because technically those Indians are Asians as well. So I kind of lumped them all in, and it all makes sense when you look at it that way.
What is that woman's name? Do you know her name? I've seen her videos over the last couple of years. She goes 10 toes down. You know her name?
I don't know, Star. If I find out, I can tag you. I definitely can come get track of it. I don't know it right now, but I know exactly what video you're talking about. She's standing 10 toes down more for Jamaica than I see a lot of Jamaican yachties.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah. All right. So to sum this up, I'm not looking for people to necessarily agree with me. I'm just asking, did Chinese people help create reggae music in Jamaica once upon a time?
I'd say it couldn't have been created without those particular Chinese folks. You wouldn't even have a you wouldn't even have a Bob Marley. Let's be clear about this. Byron Lee and them boys were listening because that's how it worked. They were listening to the radios across from the state, and they've been mimicking from doo-wop and blues and all of that. They've been mimicking.
Yeah, I've already said that. They were dressing like the Motown artists, the early Wailers. Hey man, I appreciate the call.
Marley had to slip and slide. I just want to say salute to On the Next podcast. I actually am behind the scenes helping out on that. Okay. We just actually went live and did. But
send me a link.
He doubled down.
Send me a link.
Yeah, he doubled down, Star. He doubled down twice. He's yelling at the crowd.
Okay, send me a link, man. Thank you.
Say less.
Okay. All right. It's just a question. The research shows, if you ask me, am I wrong? Guys, phone lines are open. Tyjon, I got your donation. Thank you for tapping in. Guys, at the top of the live chat should be the link if you want to join the conversation with regards to research and the question. Okay. The Real Rico Mercado got your donation. Okay. Let's slow down with the language. It's too early, guys. Okay, he's still talking about Drake and K-Dot. Oh. I'm kind of past that, Okay, so folks, please don't send me videos to just download without a description. I don't download anything. I really don't. Just please, okay. Okay. Marcel, I got your donation. Okay. Call in, Marcel. Phone lines are open. And, I should do the research. Okay, I will. Busta Rhymes. Where was the Essence Fest? He blew his stack. I saw him on stage. Yo, get up. Put down them phones. I'm from a different era. Huh? Looking at him like he was crazy. Give me a second, guys. Where was the Essence Fest at? Yeah, he was cursing at people. Okay, in New Orleans. Busta's in his 50s, and he's mad because people didn't stand up. What are they supposed to say? Yo! Come on, man. Can anybody got knowledge of this? Why didn't they stand up for him? Do you think that they're on to him? All this talk about Americans out there ain't got no culture. He said that. He said that years ago. Yeah, they ain't got no culture. Really? Okay, so it was this past Friday, July the 5th. So he took to Instagram on the 7th to explain why he was scolding people. I don't follow Busta Rhymes. Hey, Patricia, I got your donation. Thank you so much. Hey, Sunday, I got your donation. Jay Bandit, I'm not downloading any files. You have to send me a paragraph or something, a couple of sentences. Tell me what you're saying. I'm not downloading anything. And please, not when I'm working, okay? This is work. Janilio, okay? Janilio says, no, Star. Chinese people did not help create reggae. Okay, can you tell us more? Phone lines are open. And as I said, with regards to the mining, bauxite, or they call it red dirt, the raw material used in the production of aluminum, has been extracted in Jamaica by open cast mining since 1952. So, again, I've never been there. Is this polluting the water? What is the mining in Jamaica doing? How is it affecting things? I do know that some of the beaches are shrinking. We covered that a while ago. Hang on a second, guys. Who's texting me? I can take a call or two if you're calling with regards to the topic. Okay. King Simon, where are you? Call now. Call now. Call now. Hey, Sunday, I got your donation. Thank you. She has nothing to add to this show, just supporting the machine. Thank you so much, Sunday. Let me also pull some of my notes here. I want to go back to VP Records for a second. Vincent and Patricia Chin. A small lady in stature, but very knowledgeable. Does anyone notice, if you've seen her do interviews, when she speaks about reggae and other, forms of music that VP Records has distributed and artists that they've helped out by way of management and other things, has anyone noticed she says, my music? My music. And I don't have a problem with that. I mean, she's saying it by way of a cultural connection because, again, she was born in Jamaica, but I think she has rightful ownership, if you will, to a lot of the origins of reggae music. Correct me if I'm wrong. Hang on a second. VPRecords.com. Yeah, I didn't have any full-length conversations with her, but she used to be out at the Jamaica Queen store behind the counter. Tiny woman. I'm looking through the artist list of all of the affiliates and the. Oh, you know what? I need to Google. Hold on a second, since this is research. Is VP Records still an independent operation? That's my. Hold on. That's my question. Who owns? It says still Caribbean owned. That would be something if her family still owns it. If you look at some of the godfathers of hip hop, they sold everything out early. Guys, what year did Russell Simmons sell his stake in Def Jam? Okay, in 2010, VP Records expanded its global distribution network. Number 9, are you calling in? Are you calling in number 9? I can't do a lot of texting right now. Number 9, call in with that one. I want you to say that one on this show. I'm not even repeating that nonsense. Luis, I see you in the live chat. I only saw a little snippet of Wu-Tang Clan on the Tiny Desk series. Right now, I'm looking for to see if they have a majority stakeholder in VP Records, or whether it's still a family operation. I know she's got 2 sons and I think a daughter. King Simon, where are you? I thought you were calling in. I don't see that right now, guys, in terms of as far as I know, it's still family owned. Hold on a second. Okay. Thank you so much for tapping. Okay, so her name is Lorna Chin. That's her. Lorna Chin. She said on Instagram, I think a year ago, she was showing her passport, and she's Chinese, but she's also Jamaican. She said, if you're not born in Jamaica and you don't live in Jamaica, you're not Jamaican. She said you may have family in Jamaica, but you're American or some other country. Was she G-checking people? Let's go to area code 343. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. We're talking about reggae music and its origins. Are you there? 3.
Hello, Star. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How are you? Good afternoon.
Am I fine, or do I gotta get off the speakerphone?
You're good, but just please watch the language. I have to say that it's very early where I'm at. Okay, that's all. Are you there? So are you ready? 343. Did your phone drop out? Okay, his phone dropped out.
I'm Jamaica.
Sir, I'm having trouble hearing you.
I'm still here. Hello?
There you go. There you go. Go ahead. I couldn't hear you. You have the floor.
Yeah. Sorry.
Your phone's breaking up, sir. Might you be on some type of Puerto Rican network? Your phone's breaking up. Do you want to call back? It says he's calling from Canada. Sir, can you fix the string on your can? Give me a second, guys. I gotta bookmark this right here. This is the woman who I was talking about, going 10 toes down. Thank you for the email, Robert. Okay, so you're gonna have to call back. I can't hold any longer. Your phone is just not. It's not acting right. Money Moses, I got your donation. Thank you for tapping in. Damn, he said Chinese people created 50%, if not more, of reggae music. Area code 416. Are you there? Good afternoon.
Yeah, sorry. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Good evening.
All right, sorry. Yeah, that was me that cut out.
Okay. Where do you want to start, man?
Yeah, no. So I was just basically saying I'm Jamaican Canadian. I've been in Jamaica like 4 times within the last 6 months, and my family down there, half of them are Jamaican Chinese. And I learned a lot about the history of the Asians and their hand in Jamaica. Even now to this day, they own the highways in Jamaica, the expressway. You got to pay. They're paying that to China. China owns Jamaica. And another thing I don't know if you know, which you probably do know, Mexico owns the airport in Jamaica. So it's like I wouldn't be surprised if China did have their hand in reggae, because they did have their hand on the railroads, and they were there from basically the beginning of when all the people moved out there to Jamaica.
Well, listen, I'm asking to be educated. I've never been there. I've decided that I am going to take a road trip there. So I'm not acting like a fucking know-it-all. Pardon my language. Pardon my language. But let's go back to 1854. 205 Chinese workers demanded to leave Panama because of yellow fever, and they were sent to Jamaica because the country was closer than China. Fewer than 50 immigrants survived. There's a man who is pivotal in Jamaica, pivotal in terms of the Hakka Chinese coming into Jamaica. Robert Jackson Chin. Jackson Chin. This man set up a small wholesale house in downtown Kingston. He was offering credit to other Chinese after their indentured servitude. So I hear what you're saying. But you can't deny that these people pool their resources and work together. And I don't know about Mexico owning, would you say it, roads or
the airport? The airport. Right.
I know nothing about
the main airport, Montego Bay.
Okay. But
just speaking of the kind of the corruption that the roads are owned by China, the airports are owned by Mexico. It's a very known thing out there. People out there.
To that,
what you're saying.
To that, I say, don't hate the player, hate the game. But but hang on a second.
Of course. That's what it is, right?
But now
they got to eat.
Yeah, but just help me understand something. And if you see it different, I'll say so. Did Chinese people help create reggae music in Jamaica? That's my question.
That I don't know. I just said that I know that they've been there since the 1900s. Yep. So they were amongst the people. Oh yeah, and they're still there to this day. Like I stayed in the Airbnb when I was there in March with my son, and there was like 4 homes that were like full Asians, like not Jamaican Chinese, like full Ching Chong Jamaican Chinese people. So they're definitely out there. And
did you stay in Portmore by the water in an Airbnb?
Hell no, I was in Montego Bay, West Village. Okay. Yeah.
Queens Flip owns a couple of Airbnbs in Portmore, and he allegedly only rents out to white people. You know who Queens Flip is?
Portmore's a slum. I love Flip though, but Portmore's a slum though.
Not on the water, sir.
Nobody's trying to go there.
Sir, not on the water. Not on the water. He's
it could be on the water, but the hood could be right around the corner though. So
okay. So guys, what else do we need to know about Jamaica? I've decided to take a road trip there. It's not going to be this year, but maybe next year. I'm going to go.
Yeah, I think you should go. Just make sure it's not hurricane season, and you'll enjoy yourself, man, for sure. But I think I said everything I got to say about
well, now,
as far as,
hang on.
on the topic.
Don't rush. I'm not going to the tourist attractions. You ever heard of this place? Hold on a second. Cockpit Country. You ever heard of Cockpit Country?
Cockpit Country. No, what is that? Is that like a villa or something?
This is one of the most sensitive parts of the island, Cockpit Country, and they're threatening, if they haven't gone in there already, looking for bauxite mining, and you've got people that are upset, and rightfully so. So I want to go see this place before they tear it up, tear it down, if you will.
Right.
Do you know anything about the mining for bauxite in Jamaica?
No. I thought that was more a Haiti thing. I don't really know too much about the mining in Jamaica.
No. Well, they're mining in Haiti for other things to build spaceships, literally.
Right. Literally, yeah.
Yeah. But in Jamaica, bauxite is what they've been mining since 1952.
Wow, I need to get some research on that.
Yeah. I appreciate the call, man. Thank you.
I appreciate you, Star.
Yes,
Peace
sir.
out.
Okay. Folks, I'm not sure about the Queen's flip thing. That's just something I heard. I shouldn't have even repeated that, you know. But Flip is getting money. Anybody in that live chat see Queen's Flip shopping down there in Orlando for $2 million homes? Oh, the hater misses nothing. Troll babies, anybody see Queen's Flip? Huh? And he signed the papers with the realtor. The hater misses nothing. Hold on a second, guys. Area code 510. Good afternoon. I'm doing research. Please mind the language. That's all I ask. 510.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know I don't curse. I ruin the broadcast. What's up, Sir Shy?
Who are you?
What's popping?
Who's this?
It's Sir Shy.
Oh, hey, man. What's cracking? Good to hear from you. Salute.
I'm all right. I want to touch on this topic about reggae music. Yeah, man. It's like, I guess, see how they tried to hijack hip hop, and now they know what it feels like when their artists being hijacked. So, hey, maybe the Chinese might have a little bit of stake in reggae music. They're gonna have to hold that one, you know. So,
do you know?
But I can't.
Have you been to Jamaica? Do you know reggae? Have you been there?
You know, in the Bay Area, we don't really have a big Caribbean population.
Right.
You know, there's Jamaicans and Trinidadians here and there, but when I went to New York, that was a culture shock. I've never seen so many Caribbeans and Latinos in my life, so I'm not that as versed into Jamaican culture as others would be from on the broadcast. I just can't imagine. In all seriousness, I can't really imagine much Chinese influence in reggae. I mean, I don't think a Chinese person would teach Yellow Man or Bob Marley and the Wailers or Barrington Levy. You know, the structures.
Barrington Levy, Shine Eye Girl. Barrington Levy.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Barrington Levy. Yeah, I mean, all legends. I don't think those guys wrote one lyric, one drum pattern.
Wow.
You know, trumpets. Yeah, you know, they don't even play the instruments like we do. So,
well, now hang on a second, Sir Shy. Just out of respect, you know, we as Americans, most of us can read. We just don't like to. Let's keep it real. That's why Black people and Hispanics love Instagram, the pictures and the videos. We are conditioned and raised on hatred and propaganda. I've just given you facts, hardcore facts about some of the pioneers of reggae music being Chinese. I'll say the names again if you didn't catch it. Tom Wong invented the sound system. Okay. Leslie Kong. You can Google these people on your own. Tony Chin. Okay. Byron Lee, and there's others. I just put a few out there that I learned about, and you cannot deny the business mind of not just Miss Patricia Chen, but her husband and what they did, and the fact that they left Jamaica because they were rioting 5 or 6 years prior to them leaving, and they continued out of love for the music and the culture. VP Records is responsible for a lot of artists in America here and worldwide. Pardon me, worldwide. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I can't deny the technology aspect. Even Africa been bought in the Soul Sonic Force copied a lot from German and Asian technology when Bam went out there in the late 70s. I think he went to Africa and Asia or something. The technology alone with the synth and electric sounds, they were kind of able to flip it. Still doesn't mean like they are, writers or instrument players, but I'll give them credit for some of the technology aspect of it.
Gotcha. Okay. Any thoughts?
So I guess, technology is an instrument. Technology is a kind of an instrument. So yeah, that's. I wish I had a little bit more into it. I know it's a research show, but just my little opinion.
Any thoughts on Busta Rhymes crashing out in New Orleans on stage at the Essence Festival, cursing at the audience because they wouldn't stand for him and they were filming him? Any comments?
I'm done with. I stand. Like I said in my earlier Cash App, I stand with Lord Jamar. I'm sick of Busta. I'm sick of KRS-One and Fat Joe.
Okay.
You guys have really lost your mind, and I stand with Lord Jamar and anybody standing up for hip hop.
Okay.
So Busta Rhymes lost all credibility in my eyes. I mean, I still listen to Scenario. I still listen to Woo Ha.
Yeah.
You got you all.
Yeah.
He got that from FBA, Big Bang Hank.
Okay.
From song Eighth Wonder. So he talks all that stuff about FBA culture, but he stole his biggest lyric from Big Bang Hank.
Okay.
So,
Sir Shy, great to talk to you, man.
Yeah. Appreciate it. Have a good.
Okay. Thank you. Guys, I see you on the phone. Sit tight. We're having a healthy discussion. Did Chinese people help create reggae music in Jamaica? There's so much evidence here that says to me, yes, but you tell me different. I'm old, born in 64. Huh? You tell me. I want to make sure I'm promoting my sponsors. Hold on a second, guys. Business over bullshit. The sponsors must be promoted. Okay. On the screen, www.hudsontubs.com. Call in if you like. Let's have a discussion with regards to antique clawfoot bathtubs or any type of antiques in your home, but primarily bathroom stuff. Jay, I got your donation. Thank you for tapping in. Star, Haiti, way better than Jamaica, more cultured. Okay, if you say so, sir. But what about reggae music? Okay, Sir Shy, got your donation. Thank you so much, Sir Shy. Wait a minute. I think who said they're tapping in? Somebody just sent me a text. Oh. Peace, King Simon. How are you, sir, on a Tuesday late afternoon? King Simon.
Can you hear me, Star?
It's a little echoey.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me better?
There you go. King Simon, how are you, sir? How are you? It's cracking.
I am fine, my brother. What's up, sir?
Okay, King Simon, I let you get one brother off. No more. I have to stand firm. Okay? I stand firm.
I know. Okay. I understand. How you doing, sir? How's everything with you?
I'm great, man. The title, you wanted to chime in on the title? You have knowledge, I'm sure.
Well, yeah. Well, I was a big part of the reggae community for many years as a reggae artist, and my cousin is one of the founding members of the Scatterlights. And my cousin on my father's side is my mother's side is founder of Scatterlight. On my father's side was Grace Jones. So I'm very knee deep.
Pull up to your bumper, baby. Right, Grace Jones.
Yes, Grace Jones. That's yeah. Grace Jones, definitely a big part of my family of Walter's side. But my cousin, up to this day, Akel, one of the artists, will tell you no. They was they're like the Spanish did. It's like the Spanish did to hip hop. They was a contributor to reggae music, and like any Chinese or anybody, they want to add on. And Byron Lee did what he had to do. The one of the producers you spoke about did what he had to do, but we had already gotten this music long before, and also mento and ska. All of that was definitely from the melanated people. And I remember my own auntie, may she rest in peace, teaching about the African, the Maroon, and the Arawak and Carib family that came with West African beats that also started the mento music and all of that. So I remember the history, but Chinese definitely helped to facilitate and also take it to another level. Big up to VP, because I worked with VP, Vincent and Pat. I was right there. Miss Patricia knows me. Her son Chris knows me. All of them, man. I big up Chant, Randy, and all of them. I know them all. But like they've been in Jamaica for a long time, since the 1800s, and used to stay to themselves more of the time, and then they started amalgamating into the culture. But like anybody else, remember, Jamaica is ruled by a classism. So the lighter you are, the more you get, so to speak, especially in Jamaica. When back in those days. So they were lighter people that was willing to speak the language. And one thing about the Chinese, and I got to give them respect, especially when it came to technology, they were tapped into their own technology. Some of them went to America. Some was able to go while Chinese was trying to build back their culture after what happened with them in the wars. They went back and brought back a lot of stuff to different countries. That's why up to this day, they are taking over the technological aspect in every island. They're not just doing one island, Jamaica. They're doing all the islands. They're helping out all of them. So we gotta, just like again with Spanish and hip hop or Jamaicans and hip hop, I stand with Lord Jamal too. I even texted him and said what it was. And that we used to listen to the DJs back in the day and do the toasting and all that. We used to follow and listen to those DJs. There's a slide to the grind, and you know how when we brought it out to the dance hall or brought it out to the sound system on the microphone, that's when toasting was invented by Count Machuki and Daddy U-Roy and all these great brothers that did what they had to do, to the Mama Nancy's and the Brigadier Jerry's that we know today. But yet, hip hop stands on its own.
Can I jump in, King Simon? I want to keep it.
Reggae stands on its own, but it got help. Everybody got help.
Okay, I want to keep it in Jamaica, and with all due respect. Okay, hang on.
Yes,
I want to keep it in Jamaica. Okay. I want to keep it in Jamaica, and sir, please, for the sake of clarity, I mean no disrespect to Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Colombians. There's a difference between Spanish and Hispanic. You're talking about Hispanic in New York who happen to speak Spanish or Spanglish or Nuyorican. Okay, right?
You're right.
There's a difference. If we're talking Spanish people, we're talking Spain. They're in Barcelona right now, getting the tourists out of there. Right? Spanish. Right. There's a difference. Okay. So now, So you mentioned toasting, yes, but prior to toasting, Tom Wong is the sound system don. Yes, the Chinese man, Tom Wong.
When you, like I said again, it was classism. Most of the Jamaicans at certain times were very poor.
King Simon. I just asked you a question, sir. Tom the Great Sebastian, aka Tom Wong, Chinese. That's who.
He was one of them with the sound system. Don't forget.
No, sir. King Simon, I let you speak.
Don't forget.
King Simon.
Don't forget Down Beach.
I let you speak.
Okay. But you just asked me a question.
Okay. Well, I asked you to confirm Tom Wong. Now you can Google this on your own, sir. No, you can Google this on your own.
I don't doubt Tom Wong. I know who. I heard of Tom Wong,
the founder.
I have no doubt
of the sound system.
He is not the founder. He's not the founder. Let's clear that up, because you're Googling just like everybody else.
No, sir.
You're Googling just like everybody else.
No, sir. This is a historical fact. I didn't just pull up a bunch of Google notes. I've worked very close with I worked very close with VP Records when I was at WEA, Warner Electra Atlantic, for a decade.
I remember we. Right,
okay,
right,
so let's move
and
on.
I used to work with VP at Records.
Okay,
direct.
okay. So let's move on. Byron Lee introduced the bass
Yes,
guitar.
I work with Byron Lee also. I work with Byron Lee also.
Electric bass guitar, Chinese man. All right, Hakka Chinese. That's who brought the bass guitar to Jamaica. Yes.
I wouldn't say that. I would not say that. But I would say, like I said, they contribute. And if if the bass guitar was one of them, that makes a lot of sense. But I think I'd have to look deeper. But I wouldn't say that.
Can I ask you, King Simon? We're just having a conversation. You and I know each other. From Crown Heights. Can I ask you? Don't go to Google. Don't go to Google. Go type in.
I'm not even on Google. I won't go to Google.
Go to Byron Lee, Jamaica bass guitar. Any source. What do you got? I'll wait. That's the man, rocksteady. Byron Lee. He's not one of the people. He's the man who brought that goddamn bass guitar into Jamaica. I learned that in the 80s. I say.
You mean okay? You're talking about the electric bass guitar. Oh yes, the electric bass guitar. Okay, all right, you got that.
Oh, okay.
Electric bass guitar.
Who are you talking about? You were talking about Byron Lee, the break dancer. Who were you talking about?
No, because I know we was dealing with drum and bass for a long time, but it wasn't based on the electrical bass. Now you're talking about the electrical bass where it could be projected. I got that.
That's what I said. That's what I said. Hold on a second. Let me make sure.
Electrical bass.
Hang on. Let me make sure I'm promoting.
Right. You got
the Jace perspective. Hold on a second. Sponsors. Pow! There you go, guys, on the screen, youtube.com/at the Jace perspective. Okay, so I'm so glad you called in, King Simon. I want you to finish up this particular discussion. Take your time. I'm saying without Patricia Chin, just let me get this point out. Without her knowledge, born in Jamaica, without her knowledge, her efforts. She led the charge for the distribution center of VP Records worldwide. Without her, her and her husband in the studio, where would anybody be? You know, including Bob Marley and the Wailers. They were dressing like the Four Tops until she created. Hang on. Until she created a pathway for them. And then she had to get out of Dodge because she was Chinese. Take it from there, sir.
Right. From that perspective of what Miss Pat, and we showed enough respect to Pat, she is the Don Dada for that. She is the Don Dada. You also got to remember people have went to England and left to create something and came back also this way. We can't forget Desmond Decker, who was one of the people that sold 1 million. You can't forget those people, even Harry Belafonte that came here to use the same type of music to sell 1 million. We can't even forget these people. You can't even forget Farrakhan.
Oh.
Who did his thing as the charmer. You can't even forget him.
Farrakhan, where you going?
Farrakhan was known as the charmer as a star of Caribbean music.
Crime Skills, I see you. Sit tight.
Yeah, but it's cool.
Crime Skills wants in on this conversation. Go ahead, King Simon, please. No, I'm just talking about another caller.
Yeah, but yes, all due respect to Miss Pat, all the time. Enough respect to her. All the things that she's done, you got to respect that. She is the innovator that made sure the music got larger and bigger here in America. No doubt, because my first experience, even as a child, was with Randy Chin Records right here in America. Until my father used to go back and forth to Jamaica to pick up stuff. But I know that was what but that was a culture shock to me because I used to grow up watching, the karate flicks, but to see a Chinese person speak Jamaican, that threw me off when I was younger. So I was like, I was watching Chinese flicks. So it was very interesting. But yes, Miss Pat, and I got to meet her, work with them, and all that. Respect to the whole VP family. Respect to everybody that has done their work in England, Canada, all over the place. They've done their work. I can't doubt that. Cannot doubt that. No problem.
Okay.
No.
Great to talk to you, King Simon.
Right.
Hey, I'll be in touch. I am going to Jamaica to do a road trip, and I do want to check in with you before I go, so to speak.
Oh, I'm going to give you some connections. You might need some friends.
well, listen, I have to go. I have to go to the trenches. I have to go to Trenchtown and other places. But
yeah,
we'll talk. We'll talk.
Oh yeah, I can connect you. All right, take care. Peace.
Thank you. Peace. King Simon tapping in. Yes, folks. Don't ever get Miss Pat confused with somebody like a Joe Conzo. With all due respect, taking photos of hip hop pioneers does not make you a creator. You witnessed the art form. You documented it. Miss Pat is on a different level, goddamn. And I want to correct King Simon with all due respect. VP Records didn't just bring dance hall and reggae music to America. Worldwide. Anybody listening right now from Canada? Tap in. Tap in. She made it so that when Bob Marley and the Wailers went to Canada, they were greeted by white people. Greeted. Rolled out the red carpet in Canada. Hold on a second. Wait a minute, guy. Oh. Maybe this man has something different to say. Crime Skills, thank you for tapping in, sir. I'm a little hyped. Are you there, Crime Skills?
Good evening, sir.
How are you, man? Good to hear from you. Am I out of order? Am I out of pocket? Talk to me, Crime Skills.
You moving like a little snake right now, and you know what you're doing.
Come on, man. Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
Well, if these people aren't the creator of the sound and the melody and the flow, there's no contribution to it. If by design you have Lebanese, Syrians, Japanese, and Chinese, right? They control and rule Jamaica. The Syrian and Lebanese 1580, the first Jewish construct landed. This is by design. If you own it, you are put up over a special group, a peculiar, as my brothers in the Americas, you are put up over these people to own the distribution spot. You own the music store with the instruments. So I have to come to you and purchase the guitar and the drums to create from my creativity. It's not of yours. You just own the instrument that I need, but it's not you that created the sound. And this was by design. This is where the conversation needs to be. Not responsible. It's by design why these people are in this place. It's not by no coincidence. Pure design. 1580, the first Sephardic group of Jewish people move into Jamaica, and this is by design, like I said. If you're not the originator of the sound, playing the melody, you are not the creator, and you're not the contributor. By design, you own you rule over you have dominion over the people, which is out of our control. And the Chinese, they have a lease. They do not own the roads. It's a 50-year deal. I hate when people get on this and saying that they don't own it. They do not own it. It's a lease they have.
Okay.
When you're ready to go to the yard, make sure you link me.
Yeah, but right now I want to talk about Chinese people. In my opinion, I could be wrong. I've never been to Jamaica. Helping create reggae music. You reference not being in the creative process. I beg to differ. Vincent Chin, Patricia Chin's husband, she clearly lays this out in her interviews and her book about him being in the studio developing artists. They used to come into the studio with no shoes, and he would help them. And with his wife, they formulated the music so that they could package it and then distribute it worldwide so that it could be understood and accepted. He was part of that creative process, if you ask me. What about these other people that I made reference to? Are you saying that they were not official, they were not authentic?
Star, if you lend me a pair of shoes, you did not create my music. No, they're not.
Come on.
Like I said, by design, they own the facilities, the distribute the labels, and all of these things. We have to go to them. It's by design. We are in no position of owning these things. So we want to be heard. We got to go to them. No, they have the right to take their percentage because of the situation we in. We are slaves. They are rulers over us by design. It's more like we have no other choice, but they're not the creator of the art. They're not.
Can I respond to what you just said, sir?
Go ahead.
Okay. If you want to go to work and you don't have shoes and you've got blisters and bunions on your feet, and then I give you, it's not a loan, I give you a pair of shoes so that you can go to work. Am I not entitled to some of the profit that you receive from working? If I give you a pair of shoes, without those shoes, you could not make it to work. Your feet are bleeding. You couldn't even walk without those shoes.
You are obliged to take a percentage, but you're not the creator of it.
Well, I beg to differ.
Exactly. That's why I said you snake with this one. That's why I said what you said. I think you're doing this because of what's going on with Lord Jamar and Buster and all of that. I think it's like a counter back. You're clapping back at.
Not at all.
I think that's what it is.
No, not at
real
all.
with you.
Not at all. Listen, I've studied reggae music over the decades, and as I said earlier, in case you didn't hear me, I was given a huge Bob Marley and the Wailers plaque. Listen, I used to bang the phones, man, and sit there with the goddamn typewriter, whiteout, and formulate weekly reports after calling radio reporting stores, billboard reporting stores. So I know the music. I know the music. But now let's go back for a second. So some of the Chinese architects, you're saying you discard them being Chinese. What their mixture means nothing in terms of the formation of the quote unquote culture. Tom Wong, aka Tom the Great Sebastian, no place in creating sound system.
The Japanese also played a major role in the sound system. I would give the Japanese more credit, to be honest with you.
Wow.
Yeah. The Chinese.
Please explain and give us your source. Give us your source. Tom Wong, 1950. Tom Wong, go ahead. Give us your source.
Like I said, since I'm 41, from a child growing up, there have always been Japanese that's included. That's part of the sound system where you go to different towns and you have clash. In America, it's known as verses. They have different sound systems.
Yes.
That's about it. You know what I mean?
But can you give me your source?
Hang
on. Can you give me your source prior to Tom Wong, 1950? I'm just asking for a source.
I don't have a definite source, but like I said, I know for sure they have been the rulers and the owners of these of the record label, the distributor, VP. I've known this. Like it's like a lot of Jamaicans, they know also. Like it's a construct. So that's a fact. Like it's no difference than if you up and Google and you say when was slavery started, it's telling you 1560 something when it's actually started 1442. But this is what Google do. Like these people are trying to rewrite people's history and says this is when and this is who and this is that. Like it's not really no, you know what I mean? So it is what it is. But like I said, I can't say they are part of it. If you're not writing and you're not the one with the melody and you're not creating that sound,
right,
you're not. Like all it is you're just providing the outlet because of the situation the people are in. No, this is known facts. The Indians, the like I said, the majority of them are Lebanese, Jewish, and Syrian Jews that own. This is not no hidden knowledge. I mean, hidden knowledge for those who are ignoramus to the truth and don't want to do the research. But this is by design. It is what it is. But I'm not going to say they're part of the creation because they provide the outlet and the means of the music getting out. They are the distributor, definitely, but they're not the one with the rhythm. They weren't blessed with the gift. These people understand it's the same how you have certain group of people owns hip hop. and the artists and the celebrities and your athletes. It's the same design. It's just in the islands. That's all.
Hang on a second. Since you mentioned rhythm, for those who don't know, Tony Chin, he's still alive, right? One of the earlier late 60s rhythm drummers. He started out playing the drums and then switched over to guitar. Tony Chin, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's facts.
Yeah. Well, listen, man, I'm trying to be educated, and I thank you because that's what I am doing, research. I don't know for certain. I do plan to go to Jamaica. Anything you want to say with regards to the mining for bauxite? I think that's sad, man, that they are tearing through Jamaica. They're going to go into a place. I'm sure you know this place. I only know it by way of my research. What is it? Hold on a second. The Cockpit Country. Digging for bauxite. That's a place that's damn near. It's some type of well preserved area. Yes, a lot of forest and woods and things. They're going to go in there digging for bauxite.
Eventually, bauxite it's been going on for the 1950s. Eventually, you have parts that they have to move on to new area looking for more bauxite resources. It wasn't going to last forever, but this has been going on for some time now. So it is what it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's the government again, which is owned, that's going to sell the Russians and these foreign entities to come in and do what they do best as usual. But for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob rule after. So I know their time is nigh, is drawing close. I'm not worrying about them. They're not gonna rule forever. Right. They're not going. Anybody who think these people are gonna rule forever, they on drugs. Stay on it. But it is what it is. It's a construct that's beyond Jamaican my people control. Like, it is what it is. Like, I can't, you know what I mean? It is what it is. I don't get stressed out over it. Right. But like I said, I can't do nothing about it.
I appreciate the call, man. Thank you for the knowledge. Thank you so much. Crime Skills.
Respect everything.
Yes, sir. Respect. All right, listen, I'm trying to hash this out. Folks, I'm going to Jamaica. I know I said for years I got no interest, but, listen, Jamaican people have been great to me. Maybe I can find myself an older Jamaican gal, huh? I still say Jamaican mothers are the best mothers. I've dated some Jamaican women in my life. I love their diction, their spelling. I think Jamaican women spell better than FBA women. Definitely better than Trinidadian women. I find myself an older Jamaican gal, huh? Okay, hang on a second. Okay, folks, I'm not downloading what you're sending me. What are you sending me? I don't download random emails. I'm just pushing delete. Resend the email and explain what you're sending me. You could be sending me malware, some type of porno. No, thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I have a sponsor on the line? I think he hung up. Damn it. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I'm saying Chinese people help create reggae music. There's not a lot of information on Wikipedia and other platforms with regards to Tom the Great Sebastian, a.k.a. Tom Wong. That's the man right there who brought you your selectors, He was half Jamaican. Well, Wong. Mike, I got your donation. Thank you for tapping in, sir. Star the Chinese-made oxtails too. Ooh. Well, sir, are you serious or are you trolling? Because the Chinese invented pasta. Italians have been, getting credit over the centuries, Chinese invented gunpowder and pasta. Hold on a second. Okay, folks, I'm not doing a show right now about hip hop. No, I'm talking about reggae music. I can't interrupt the flow and kill the vibe. Hold on a second. Okay, I got some weirdo who just. I'm just. There's some people who you try to annoy me, and you don't know it, but your emails go to the spam folder. And then some of you, I block you. My life is too valuable. My time is too precious. I don't have time to be annoyed. If you try to annoy me, I just say to the goddamn spam folder. Hold on a second. Area code 803. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Or you have to speed on the title.
Hey, how are you? I always enjoy your show. Great topic.
Thank you, baby.
But I want to go beyond the Chinese people to the creation. Like that gentleman was talking about the creation. I would say the Puerto Ricans are 50-50 in Puerto Rican music. Because remember, the Puerto Ricans lived on the island of Jamaica for over 900 years before the Spanish Inquisition, where the Spaniards almost wiped them out. But they moved them from that island and put them on the island of Puerto Rico. So the
baby, I'm talking about Jamaica. Yeah. Are you saying Puerto Ricans?
Yeah, Jamaica.
In Jamaica? Puerto Ricans.
The Puerto Ricans was there first.
Okay.
The Puerto Ricans lived there first for over 900 years. Yeah. And after the Spanish Inquisition, they moved them, and the Puerto Ricans left a lot of influence there. And
I've spoken about this. Hang on a second. Hang on. I've spoken about the Spanish Inquisitions on many occasions, but now can you please bring it forward to reggae music? Reggae
music, yes. So when the Puerto Ricans left, because the Jamaicans were so hostile to slavery, they dropped them off on that island and left them. And remember, the Puerto Ricans had left all of their influence, their vegetables, their spices, their sounds, everything there. So when they left, they put the Jamaicans on a raw island, and they had all of this Puerto Rican influence. So from the creation, the Puerto Ricans are the 50-50 to Jamaicans. So Jamaica and Puerto Rico is not their island. They can do whatever they want to that island. It was the Spaniards, the Jewish. Those are just like holding pens for them.
Okay.
That's not their island. They're just placed there because they're own people.
I'm listening. You have the floor.
Yeah. So the Puerto Ricans are the 50-50 creation, and they moved the Puerto Ricans like around 1494, and then when the gentleman said that by 1580 Jamaicans was there, he was right. But by that time, the Puerto Ricans were gone and the Jamaicans were there, because remember, they was hostile. They didn't want to go into slavery, and they was wild, and they couldn't handle them. So they left them. They dropped them off at that vacant island and left them. And they didn't have anything but the influence of the Puerto Ricans. Okay. So they got
the Taino,
cook the same food.
The Taino indigenous is what you're.
Yep, the Taino Indians. The Puerto Ricans is the 50-50 creation of the Jamaicans.
Okay, so you're excluding the Hakka Chinese. They what?
No, they came with things. Just like black people got the same argument now that the Jamaicans got. Just like they came in and seen us and brought some things, but they're not the creation. But the Puerto Ricans is the creation in the Jamaicans. Black people don't have that argument. Nobody influences us. We the glass ceiling.
Okay.
But the Puerto Ricans and Jamaicans, they are like property. They move them at will and can move them, can take their island, can build on their island, can do anything they want to them. They don't own them islands. They property.
I'm letting you speak, but now can we fast forward to the music, reggae music?
Yes.
Reggae music.
Yes.
You're discarding the Hakka Chinese. Okay. Can you give me some prominent Puerto Ricans in the foundation and the formation of reggae? Prominent Puerto Ricans.
The island itself is the vibe.
Okay.
You understand? The island itself is the vibe. The spices that were left, the drums that were left, the sounds that were left, the flavor of the island itself influenced the Jamaicans. The Puerto Ricans were just snatched up and left everything. When they were wiping them out during the Spanish Inquisition, they just picked them up like a prize. And then the Spaniards lost them to America, and they are like a commonwealth now. The Puerto Ricans are not a part of any.
I'm letting her talk, so babies, let her talk.
It's a prize.
Okay.
Just like the Puerto Ricans, the island itself is the influence. So the Puerto Ricans is the 50-50 creation with the Jamaicans creation,
Gotcha.
not the production of the music.
All right. Where are you calling from, dear? Okay, that's where you're calling from?
I'm calling from South Carolina.
Okay. Are you originally from South Carolina?
No, I'm originally from New York.
Oh, you got out of Dodge. I heard the accent.
Yeah, but if he the Jamaicans going to argue.
Well, hang on, baby. I let you talk.
They forget the bop.
Baby. You did good. Even though I disagree with you, you did good. Might you be in the?
Thank you. I enjoy you. I really enjoy you.
Thank you, baby. Thank you. Might you be in the Myrtle Beach area? You said you're from up north. You in the Myrtle Beach?
Not far.
You know, it's one of the designated areas right now. Myrtle Beach, Wilmington, Delaware. Wilmington, North Carolina. Pardon me, Wilmington, North Carolina. And a lot of people from up north are heading down to those places. How long have you been in South Carolina?
I've been here since 99, going back and forth. But I tell you, it's a lot of up northerners down here now.
Yeah. Well, they're trying, but if they don't have something, going on with them, they do get turned out pretty fast, right? It's not a place where you can come and be on that turn up Atlanta nonsense. They get you together fast in South Carolina. You know.
Oh, South Carolina is a different beast. They don't do that, but it's a world within a world. It's a country within a country. We have issues, but they snatch it up real fast. They don't do that. You're not ruining what they got.
I appreciate the call, baby. Thank you for tapping in. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. I like to let people talk, whether I agree or not. You see, folks, if you're Chinese, call in. I'll let you talk. It's a research show. On the screen, www.youtube.com/@ on their next podcast. Also, guys, has anyone had a chance to go check out my other YouTube channel, Squirrel Party? It's lit. I don't feed the squirrels every day because they have to hunt and do their own thing. I didn't feed them today. But Squirrel Party, it's a vibe. Don't go there, looking for something to be so exciting. It's what I look at when I sit on my back patio. That's big screens, relaxing, whether I'm having coffee early in the morning or, smoking a cigar in the evenings. And the squirrels just, they run amok. Has anybody seen a black squirrel yet? The black squirrels just come through on some gangster shit. I don't know what that's about. There was a baby black squirrel that came through. What is today? Today's Tuesday. Last Thursday, a baby black squirrel came through, trying to just take over the little bowl where I put the different types of Brazilian nuts, walnuts, and things of that nature. But yes, Squirrel Party. Go over there, catch a vibe. Hey, Tyra, I got your donation. Okay. Yeah. Listen, that's great. I want you to talk. Thank you, Tyra. I want you to talk. Call in. I'm saying the Chinese help create reggae music. Luna Glider, I got your donation. Thank you for tapping in. Now, this is an early research edition. Something else I wanted to mention. Was it the Hakka Chinese? Guys, hold on a second. Hold on. I got to do more research on cockpit country. Cockpit country. The people of Cockpit country fought off the British in the 1700s. So wherever that is, again, I've never been to Jamaica, Cockpit country, those people have a fighting spirit in them, if you will. Might they go to war in some way, shape, or form for against the mining companies, United States mining companies, in case you don't know. Hold on a second, guys. Another one of my sponsors on the screen, luxuryopticdesign.com. You're welcome to call in if you like. Johnny Too Cool tapping in. Okay. All right, Johnny, I'm looking for people to join the conversation, man. I mean, thanks for, the donation, but let's do the trolling at night. Let's do the trolling at night, okay? Let's go to area code 347. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Talking about reggae music, Chinese people, their possible creation of it. Are you there? 347?
Yes, I'm here. How you doing?
How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you. Look, I just wanted to give you a great perspective because I'm a former...
Can you come a little closer to the phone, please? A little closer?
Okay, I'm a former reggae DJ. I used to be a DJ for a popular sound called Blunt Posse, and I could give you a big perspective on this whole issue, right?
Please.
So I've been listening to all the callers, and I just want to say, as a perspective, first to correct something, the history of Jamaica is it was a trading colony. So a lot of people used to come here for trading. Most of the people that settled there were Trinidadians. That's why they have a lot of Trinidadians and Caribbean essence there. If you look at a lot of the Spanish countries, they have the same kind of foods there. They were the same plants and same things that grow there. So the lady that spoke before, I think that it was incorrect about the Spanish thing. But to move on about that, reggae elevated from mentos, contemporary, to ska, eventually turned into roots and culture, and then they had a bunch of different genres with dancehall and all of those.
Rocksteady. Rocksteady.
I believe that. Yes, I believe that Chinese people are a big factor in that because, to my knowledge, I started dancehall music in 1989.
Okay.
And in 1989, there was a sound called Volcano. They were a Japanese sound. They were a very big sound. And they were the sound that was very popular because they voiced the very first dub plate. They were the only sound that had Bob Marley on dub plate. So this is well known between sound men. And this is something that I guess gets deterred over time because we always want to give the Caribbean culture our utmost greatest to say that we produce everything. But there were things that were put there in front of us. The Chins were a great contributor to that because I believe that at one point, the artists had essence as far as the music that they wanted to put out, but they had no style and they had no direction. A lot of people were re-singing like soul songs that came from America and things of that nature until they discovered their own identity, which was help manufactured through Chin, right? And also Steely and Clevie and these guys. We can't forget Steely and Clevie, King Jammies.
Right.
There's a bunch of names that I could throw in there, but then I would keep going on till tonight. But I can just tell you this. I dealt with all the reggae artists. If you look up my website or you look me up on YouTube right now, you can look up Blunt Posse versus Mighty Crown. I was actually in World Clash against some Japanese guys that were big.
You were in Mighty Crown? Hold on. You were in Mighty Crown? I know that set.
No, I clashed against Mighty Crown in one of the biggest classes in New York. Yeah,
okay.
It was yeah, it's on YouTube. It has over 100,000 hits. You could probably look it up in your free time. Yeah, I'm formerly known as Diamond. I know it's a crazy name, but I shine under pressure. So I know you for a long time too. I know you since you've been in New York at Hot 97. I've always been a big fan of yours. My life changed when you stopped doing radio in New York. I tell you that much. I missed you in New York, but you're a great guy. We love your show. This is great content. And I just want to say, for all the Jamaicans out there, look, you have to really understand, if somebody contributes to your culture, you can't be upset about it. Spanish people have gotten reggaeton, and they've manifested something great out of it. They've taken it from the reggae culture, and they don't deter from that. They don't say, "Oh, we didn't get this from you guys." All these guys that came out, they were proud to say that they took it from the elders, like the Ninja Mans and the Shabba Ranks and those people. So why can't you say that you elevated something the same way Kool Herc and those guys came to America and elevated hip hop? So you got to understand that there's levels to this, and you sometimes you can't just get there with one mind. You need a bunch of minds to be put together to see a bigger vision.
Stay with me. Stay with me. I'm glad that you called. And no disrespect to Kool Herc. I know him very well. He used to come on my show, the Star and Buckwald show. But the early Jamaicans or Caribbeans, if you will, and I'm as old as dust, you know this, they were not waving the flags of the Caribbean when they were trying to become a part of hip hop. They assimilated. Kool Herc has become more culturally conscious as he has gotten older. Kool Herc was running around with an afro back in the 70s, and many other producers, and so on and so forth. So they assimilated to foundational Black American culture. Again, hip hop came from bebop and other Black art forms. And I say that with all due respect. But now with regards to reggae music, and I love dance hall. I used to be at the dance hall clubs in the 80s. You should know this already. This is a different animal, if you will. And the history of it and the way that it has lasted, and VP Records, as you know, is such an important factor. Do you know if it's still independently owned, VP Records? I've been looking and it. If it is, that's brilliant. Still independently owned.
It is independently owned. It is independently owned. It's funny that you say that because
hang on a second. Hang on a second. Salute to the Chin family. Unlike a lot of the rappers and other people who just sold their catalogs, sold it off, gave it away, all sorts of craziness. She's got 2 sons and a daughter, I think, and they're all involved in the family business. They've got distribution centers worldwide. You cannot, in my opinion, exclude them from being a part of the formation of reggae music. Go ahead, finish up. Take your time, please.
I completely agree. I believe that also, if you look at VP Records, when a lot of artists couldn't get signings, when they tried to get abroad deals in America and it wasn't working out, they went to VP Records, and VP Records was a safe haven for every single reggae artist. They could walk in there knowing they was getting a deal, and they put up enough content to know that they was going to get enough albums out there, because they knew, all right, maybe I'm not going to get the deal that I would get if I was an American label, but if I put out enough albums, I'll probably see enough money. And that was the perspective. But I believe that Chinese people definitely paved the way, 100%.
I used to work at Atlantic Records, Otco, Reprise, and those places. I know they tried to do a deal with VP after the success of Sean Paul, and they rejected Atlantic. They said, well, you can distribute the product. We're not selling you any equity. And that we're not doing.
They tried to do that with Jacure as well.
Right. Ooh, Jacure. Right. So, but hey, man, take your time, finish up, and promote your platform again. You said you're where on social media?
Oh, I'm Blunt Posse. If you look up Blunt Posse, we're a big sound system. We travel the world doing sound clashes. I retired, but my boys are still at it.
Okay.
I'm always promoting the music and promoting the brand. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of reggae artists, and I try to keep people in touch when they want to keep shows and any kind of platform you want people to speak with, interviews, things of that nature. I moved on. I'm an older guy now. I'm more focused on the bigger stage. You know what I mean? I want to be behind the scenes. Send
me an email when you get a time of your link. And but yeah, man, I appreciate you tapping in. Thank you for the knowledge.
Yes, but I love what you're doing for the show. This is well needed. I believe that this is a topic that should have been addressed a long time ago, because there's no problem with if somebody helped you to change the culture to make it more powerful. There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay. Thank you, man. Salute. Yes, sir.
Take care, man.
Okay. All right. Guys, sit tight on the phones. I was looking for someone else to call, and I guess he changed his mind. This is a research edition for those of you who, okay, King Simon says, yes, VP is still independent. Wow. Whoo. King Simon, I don't know what you're talking about. King Simon, I will throw curveballs, you know this, to get a reaction from people. Traditional reggae, I've always had an appreciation for. And if you remember, King Simon, I used to play it on the Star and Buck Wild show. Yeah, I'll throw you a curveball to see if you're listening. I guess you were listening. Okay, folks, I can't read paragraphs right now. Who are you? I'm not talking about hip hop right now. We're talking about reggae music. Please, let me just hit delete. Bang, delete. I'm 60 years old. I can't do, whole bunch of shit. I'm looking at the Cash App, the Super Chat, the phone lines. Hang on a second. Okay. All right, I'm not going to say your name. She says, no, Star Queens Flip. Okay. No, we're not talking about Flip. Flip's a great guy. Yeah, Flip he's one of your, I'll just say this. He's investing in Jamaica. Every time he goes down there, there's a guy who's at the airport in Jamaica. He texts me. He said, yo, Flip just came through. Troll babies, anybody see Queens Flip in Orlando shopping for $2 million homes? Oh, I know Joe Budden ain't paying him that type of money. He get money down in Jamaica. Frank White, I didn't see you. Ray says, Star snitching. That's a whole fact. They could get money. I'm pocket watching. Yes, I am. Benita. Hey, Benita. Hold on a second. Okay, call in, baby. Call in. You just sending me goddamn paragraphs. What the hell's going on here? Let's go to area code 804. Hey, good evening. It's an early research edition. Are you there? Area code 804.
Yes, Star.
How are you, sir? How are you?
How you doing today?
I'm great. How about yourself?
Good. I'm this is Brian, Big B from DC, the reggae connoisseur and the winner of a couple of singing contests on your show.
Okay.
I actually won.
How are you, sir? How are you?
I just want to make me familiar.
Okay.
So I did the reggae thing. When I say reggae connoisseur, I grew up here. Me a Yankee man still, but I was in Brooklyn and Nostrand and St. John's and all the dance halls, whatever, from DC. So I had the privilege of working with some sounds up there and singing with some of the bigger Jamaican artists from there. But this is very educational. I'm learning right now. And when I'm your birthday twin or whatever. I'm May 64, May 1964. So we're the same age. We're at the same time. But the Baron Lee and the Dragoneers, that's a shock to me. Now, when I first heard the reggae, I always said to myself, "This
Byron Lee, sir. Byron Lee. Byron Lee.
No, not Barrington Lee. I'm talking Byron Lee.
Byron Lee. That's what I said. Byron Lee, the bass player who introduced electric bass guitar in Jamaica. Prior to him, everybody was using the stand-up. Byron Lee. Go ahead.
I never knew that. I never knew that, man. That's some real, but so, giving credit to just Chinese would be wrong. Now, I wanted to make a point about the shoes thing. You said, if I gave you the ability to go to work and I gave you shoes.
So that was an analogy that Crime Skills and I were talking. I don't want to go backwards. I want to hear what you think. Are you Jamaican? Are you Jamaican?
No, I'm American. I'm American from Ghana, from Cameroon. I have a 400-year DNA test. But
You're African.
Yeah, I grew up in DC.
You're African.
I'm African. Yeah.
Yeah.
But check this out. All music has an influence from another culture, from another place, from another country. So like jazz musicians can't say, oh, everything was, Black American. We can't, because there was influences from other cultures, period. Chinese.
No, sir. No, sir. That's not period, sir. No, sir. No, sir. No.
So what music doesn't have any other influence? Like, I mean, there's some
sir, indigenous
Africans.
Hang on. I'm responding to what you're saying. Indigenous Black people, whether they be African American or indigenous, who were already here prior to the slave ships bringing slaves into South America, they created blues and jazz from within. That's not from Europe, sir. Okay, it's not from Europe. That's not from Ireland. That's not from Ireland. It's not from France. It's not from Jamaica.
All right. So how about classical? Music?
Well,
Do you think that has any that was European? No,
sir. Hang on. You asked me about jazz. I think you said, was it jazz? You said jazz and blues, right?
Yeah.
I don't care about classical. Please don't try and move the goalpost. You asked me a question, I responded. Now, with all due respect, sir, you're from Central Africa, yes?
400 years ago, yes.
Yeah. You've heard me say, with all due respect, I've never met an African with good intentions. So where are you going, sir? The question is, did Chinese people help create reggae in Jamaica? Let's get focused. Reggae.
All right, I'm gonna give you something. When I first heard it, I said it sounds Chinese because they're saying chink, ka-tink, chink, chink.
Let's get him out of here. Now he wants to try and slander Chinese people. You know what I'm saying? We'll have to take shots at Chinese people. Use derogatory slang. That nigga's from Cameroon, huh? Sheesh. LuxuryOpticDesign.com on the screen, folks. And guys, if you want to become a sponsor on the Star Report, you know how to contact me. Where's my information? Where is my information? Here's my email address. If you're looking to be a sponsor, make your emails attention Amy. That's my alleged daughter. She responds fast. Me, I need 24 hours to respond, I'm taking another road trip prior to my trip to Jamaica sometime in late September. I'll keep you posted. I'm not sure exactly where, but I've been doing a little research and working on things. There's my email address on the screen. Advertising the hater, okay? 470, sit tight. I see you in the queue. Anything else I need to mention? Guys, if you're just now tuning in, we've been talking about when the Chinese first came to Jamaica, going back to 1854. Robert Jackson Chen, a very important man in terms of the Hakka Chinese, setting up laundry stores, ice cream parlors, and other things. Hakka Chinese, Hakka. He provided credit for them. Credit. That's another conversation we can have another day, credit. What? There are black banks and black credit unions here in America, but I don't think most people even know about them or they don't partake. Do you not trust each other? Why don't I shouldn't be laughing. Why don't you take the black credit unions serious? Oh, Lucy's Pearl said no. No what? No what, Lucy's Pearl? We also mentioned the Jamaican Chinese riots going back to 1918, 1938, and 1965. If you ask me, I say this with all due respect. I think the Jamaicans killed Tom, the Great Sebastian. I think they killed him somewhere in the early 70s, a.k.a. Tom Wong, creator of the sound system. Area code 470. Are you there? Good evening. Doing a
I'm here. Good evening. Good evening. How are you?
I'm great. I'm doing a research show. Please watch your language. You sound like a cursor. All right? Just slow down. Take it easy with that profanity.
No, I'm not a cursor. I can be, but I understand.
How are you, babe? Where do you want to start?
Somebody, a friend of mine, religiously listens to your show and kind of told me the topic.
Okay.
I listened to a little bit beforehand, but he was just kind of explaining to me.
Okay.
The Asian person on the phone was talking greasy and saying, if you're not born in Jamaica and this and that. So that's something that I'm a first generation Jamaican American.
Okay.
My entire family was born and raised in the island, and I was born here and lived here. Now, this is something that even the old heads in my family, I argue, because it seems as though it's almost a sense of pride, but a little bit ignorant. Okay. Because at the end of the day, if you see an Asian that's 6, 7, 8 generations down that has no idea how to speak it, people look at them and can tell by their features where they're from or what their bloodline is about. So just because you can't look at me and tell culturally, I was born here, but if I'm upset, of course, my mouth can get a little dirty. But I cook the traditional food.
Can I jump in for a second? You say you were born in Jamaica or America? Where were you born?
No. I'm a first generation. I was born in New York. I was born in the States.
Stay with me for a sec. Hang on. Stay with me. I mean, no disrespect. You referenced someone who was talking about Jamaicans and where they were born. And so I think her name, is it Lorna Chin? You ever heard of Lorna Chin?
Not specifically, but I do definitely understand in Jamaica. They have Chinese Jamaicans. They have, Indians. We call them coolie. It's kind of a melting pot. There's different,
hang on.
regions. So I don't discredit them in Jamaica.
Stay with me. I want you to talk. I'm gonna give you the floor. So Lorna Chin, you can catch her on Instagram. Take 2 Editor. That's TAK, the number 2 Editor. EDITOR. I've seen her content over the years, and I have to agree with her. If you're not born in Jamaica, you don't live in Jamaica, you're not Jamaican. And she's Chinese. She's laying it down. You say you were born in America, so you're American. I mean, your family's from Jamaica, but you're American.
Okay.
Come on.
I'm Jamaican American. And here's why. Based off of what she's saying, if I was not a true Jamaican, I would not be able to get my Jamaican citizenship. Based on Jamaican ruling, if my mother was born, my entire family now, it's not like I'm just, a couple generations off. I'm the firstborn.
Right.
I can go and get my citizenship. So if, according to Jamaican government, I'm a citizen, who is she? I mean, Asians pop up in all kind of black culture. They set up shop and chill and do whatever. Like that's.
What does your passport say now?
Okay.
What does your passport say now?
What does it say now? I have a U.S. passport now.
Yeah. You're American. You're not Jamaican.
Okay.
I mean, listen, we're having a conversation. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Yeah, she's talking.
No, I mean, it's fine. It's healthy banter. I mean, what you're saying is not something that, even my family members, they joke around and say whatever, so I don't take offense to it. Right. I just think that it's a little bit, I think it's a little bit ignorant, especially if rulings. I feel like if I was a little bit further down the line, that logic would make sense. But,
Can I ask, how old are you?
I'm 31.
Yeah. You sound like a Yankee girl.
Well, I do live in the States.
Yeah.
I do have a corporate job. I can, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. When I go home and I let loose, that's a different
This
situation.
is a Yankee.
I'm not going to use my accent to, you know, I'm not a show pony, you know.
Right.
I'm not going to use my accent just because somebody's like, oh, well, you Jamaican, say something. Nah, I don't operate like that.
Are you married? If we can just dig a little deeper here.
No, I'm not married. No.
Do your parents expect you to marry a man from yard, or you're going to bring home a Yankee?
They would definitely prefer. They would definitely prefer the yard man. Definitely. They would prefer. But I mean, what are they going to do?
Are your parents my age?
I'm not. How old are you?
I'm 60.
My mom's a little bit younger, but yeah, my dad's around there.
Yeah. Your parents want you to marry a man from yard. I mean, they love you regardless, you know, but if you bring home a Yankee, they're going to, you know, it's not going to be.
Yeah, they're going to give me the side eye. They're going to give me the side eye.
It's not going to be a big celebration, but okay. So now you can get your citizenship in Jamaica. You said, but your citizenship is here in the States, yes?
Correct. I can get dual, yeah.
How often do you go back to Jamaica?
Every couple of years. And that's only because I have 2 small kids and to get them situated. But I talk with my family regularly. You know, I what's up my family. We still have, you know, land down there. My grandmother's house is still down there. So, you know.
Okay. Well, listen, I appreciate the call. Reggae music. I'm talking about the origins of it. I'm saying yes. Chinese people helped create it from the ground up. And without Chinese, I don't know where Jamaican music would be, because they were, you know, they were dressing like the Temptations and the Motown sound. You do know that, right? Bob Marley and the Wailers, they had pompadours and conchs and shit like that. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I don't know. I guess it got muted. I'm here. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do know that. Mm-hmm.
So where would Jamaican music be, you know, reggae, which came out of rocksteady, where would it be without the Chinese?
I think that all music influenced different things. I don't know per se. This is really interesting. I would definitely research, but I don't know to say you don't know where it would be without it. Not to say it doesn't influence it, but I'm not quite sure the answer to that question.
Yeah. Me neither. But I appreciate your call.
You know, I mean, to say it influences it, of course, but to say where would they be without it, I mean, that's
a hypothetical. I was throwing you a curveball. I was just being silly, but
yeah, it's kind of a reach a little bit, but influenced by, definitely.
Okay, I appreciate the call. And you say you and your husband and the kids are going back to Jamaica when?
I'll probably be going before the end of the year. Probably no husband, but me and my children. Yes.
Wait a minute. So you've got 2 beautiful bundles of joy by a Yankee man, or a man from yard?
They're half breeds. They're hybrids.
Oh, Jesus. Girl, you got.
They have island influence.
Listen. You go back to Jamaica and get yourself a man from yard. Give those boys a good Jamaican influence. Okay? No more of that Yankee business. All right? Thank you for calling.
I hear you.
Bless.
Have a good night.
Bless up. Okay. That's a Yankee girl. Oh, there she is, folks. So let me put this in the live chat. Lorna Chin talking greasy. Troll babies, are you up to speed on Lorna Chin? Giving people smoke about who is and who isn't Jamaican. She's Chinese and she be spitting patois and all of that. King Simon, where are you? King Simon, are you up to speed on Lorna Chin? Dayton, Ohio. What's cracking? What's popping? Dayton, Ohio.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of disagree with you. They didn't.
Well, hang on, sir. Are you from Dayton, Ohio, sir? Where are you calling from?
I live in Dayton, Ohio, but I'm from Jamaica.
Okay. The home of Mark.
Yes, sir.
The home of Mark Adams from Slave.
Yes, sir.
Let's get it right.
The home of the. Yes,
right.
sir.
Yeah.
The funk, Lakeside, Fayezo.
No, sir. No, sir. Let's Mark Adams.
Okay, Mark. Let's stick with Mark.
Yeah.
All right. But no, the reggae and the invention. I'm gonna say this: the Chinese or some Chinese businessmen, they owned, as far as history says, they owned record shops. Some of them owned recording equipment, recording studios, so to speak. And then there was a popular band called Byron Lee and the Dragoneers who backed a lot of artists.
Yes.
I'm from the 60s. I was born in the 60s.
Okay.
There is a story that Toots coined the phrase reggae based on a dance that was called Reggae, do the reggae. Now I've heard another story that parallels that, but that's the first story that I heard, that Toots and the Maytals, Toots from the Maytals, used the word reggae in a song called Do the Reggae. But let's go back. So as far, yes, the Chinese were very involved. I'm going to use the word involved. I think there was a producer named Ken Corey. There was a label called Dynamic Records.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, a lot of them were Chinese owned because Chinese owned a lot of businesses in Kingston at the time. So yes, they were very involved in the music industry. I'm not going to say they invented anything, because if that was the case, then there would be historic reggae musicians other than Byron Lee. And Byron Lee came from the, kind of like the Skia era, before even reggae was around. It was Skia and so forth. And
ska,
reggae,
ska,
on in probably the late. I'm sorry,
ska, and then Byron Lee is credited as one of the founders of Rocksteady, right?
Okay, I don't know, but it was around. And again,
can I jump in, sir? Can I jump in?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now get ready. I'm going to throw you a curveball. Get ready. It's a curveball. Chinese men were laying down with Jamaican women and producing. This is a fact, sir. This is fact. And they were producing half Chinese Jamaican babies.
Right? Okay.
Sir, you're Jamaican. Let's keep it real. Chinese men.
I have Chinese in my family.
Oh yeah, you're damn right you do. You're probably related to the Chins. The Chinese men.
No, Mo Ying.
Okay.
Mo Ying.
Okay. The Chinese men working hard, right? And their women didn't mind them going to get a little Jamaican brown sugar, right?
I'm gonna leave that over there.
So you said they did not. What was the word? They did not.
I'm gonna say I don't feel they invented reggae. Reggae was already.
That's what you said. Invented.
You're a music historian,
sir.
I'm sorry.
They invented those half Chinese Jamaican babies, and that's why you got what you got.
So I'm going to openly say no, because see, now our bands were starting to come into themselves. The black band, other than Byron Lee's group, were starting to come into themselves. Right. The Scatterlights, Don Drummond, and those guys. Were coming into themselves, and we're now starting to be, and I get it. A lot of those guys were studio musicians. And so a lot of the artists were forced to just, you have to do your music with these guys. You back then you didn't come with a band. There were no, I couldn't form a band and say, yes, I'm independent. There was no such thing. You hang out at the producer's gate all day long, maybe all night long, and hope to get called inside the fence. And you know the history. You hope, because you see all the interviews, you hoped somebody said, hey, Star, your turn. No, come on. Let me see what you have. You see what I'm saying? And the rest is history. I mean, group after group after group, it's the same story. And a lot of those producers and studio owners and record shop owners were Chinese. Like, one of the biggest labels, VP Records. started as Chin Randy in Jamaica, and now they're who they are. So they were very involved. You cannot take that away from them. Yeah. And I won't. I won't try to. Yeah. They were involved, but invent, no.
Have you ever seen Rockers, the film? Rockers.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes.
It's a must. It's a must see. It's a must.
I have. See. But it's all relevant, and yes, there's Chinese Jamaicans, and I don't know why we try to separate. I think it's because of the internet now. We can have fun trolling one another and talking crazy, but the truth is the truth. And I can say that because you're a historian and you know it.
Well, I'm a dropout, but now hang on a second. I think that many Chinese people have not spoken up in the past out of some type of shame, if you will, because there were 3 riots in Jamaica against Chinese, 1918, 1938, and 1965. In 1965, It was so brutal to the point where Patricia Chin and Vincent Chin they left. They left everything. They had to go start over, and that's when they went to Queens and started VP Records.
Did they go to Florida first?
Well, I'm not sure. You would know better than me. But her brother-in-law, I think, owned the name. Was it Randy Records? He wouldn't give them the name.
Okay.
Come on.
Randy's Records.
Yeah, Randy's Records. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Because that was very popular. I mean,
Randy's Records.
The countdown shows would be sponsored by somebody. You know what I mean? Because every Saturday night there was a top 10 countdown.
Right.
And that's how you knew the hits and what the hits were.
Right.
And, and it was sponsored by the labels. And all the history of the dancehall, the sound systems, Coxon and on and on and on and on. All of those guys, the sound system owners became record label owners.
Yeah.
At one point or another. Scratch Perry, all those guys. Prince Buster, King Stitz, U-Roy, all of those guys own sound systems. Even your friend up here in the Bronx, Downbeat International, Tony Screw.
That's a good man. That's a good man. Good man.
Tony's a good man. Been around. He's like Rodigan, historian.
Good man.
Yeah. Man, I appreciate you taking my call.
Hang on, before you go, didn't a Chinese man write that monumental song, "Steer It Up"? Oh, darling, steer it up. Hold on, let me Google that. It wasn't Marley. Who wrote "Steer It Up"?
Me not touch that eye. Me not touch that. That family too powerful. I am. They might find me. Not touch that.
Okay, I'm wrong. I'm right. It was Marley in '67. Steer.
Bob used to write for I can see clearly now the rain is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Bob was but the family they're too strong, man. Me not touching none of them sitting there.
Can I get you 10
minutes? But I really appreciate taking my call, man.
But before you go, can I ask you a question with all due respect? Was Bob Marley a white man with a tan?
No. I'm gonna say no, right off the top. So it's like, all right, I'm going to give you a perfect example.
Well, can I ask you? Let me just say this before you break it down. Before you break it down.
Okay.
He had no style, no swag. No. You can do your own research if you have not. Until he met Rita. Rita gave him everything and introduced him to Rastafarian life, right?
You put the ice cement in your mouth and you suck in that cool air.
He was like Drake. Bob Marley was like Drake until he met Rita. Go and finish up.
I'm gonna put it like this. I don't even know how, right? You see, like how, like the young lady that you just spoke to, you see, like how she's born in America and all that stuff. Like if you come from Ohio to New York and you talk in American, and
Yankee girl.
You have to quickly Jamaicanize yourself. Right, otherwise, you're gonna get clowned. You know what I'm saying? So Bob, I don't know. Bob was born in Saint Anne, moved to Kingston. Rest is history. Yeah. I'm not sure. Rita was born in Cuba. I have family from Cuba because we're very close. There's close Cuban Jamaican ties. Rita was born in Cuba, so there's that part of it. I'm not sure about what her musical history was or her Rastafarian history was. Because there's so many stories. Well, the family too powerful. You have to watch yourself or your thought.
She introduced him to Rastafarian life. Anyway, listen, I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Salute. Thank you.
I've heard other stories, but yeah, man, yeah, man, yeah, man, yeah, man.
Respect. Yes,
Big
sir.
up yourself.
Big up. Okay. King Simon, you might have to call back in. King Simon, we talking that talk right now. This is an extended research show. Hold on a second. I shouldn't have gone there about Bob Marley. Miss Pat from VP Records. She said she knew Bob Marley when he was a teenager. He used to come by Randy's Records. He was quiet. He was quiet, looking for his friends. She's working the counter, talking to people all over the goddamn place. If you ask me, she told him you should lock up your hair. He said, what? Lock up your hair. I'm doing the most right now. Wicked Hebrew got your donation. Are you calling in, sir? He says, sorry, do the other squirrels call the black one a squigger? Hey, man, those squirrels are so entertaining in my backyard. Guys, if you have not been to my other YouTube channel, please go to Squirrel Party. But let me just say this. Do not go there talking about some hip-hop crazy stuff. Just go there. It's a vibe. It's just squirrels. I'm not doing any editing. I want you to see what I see when I wake up in the morning. And I was thinking about putting cameras inside the squirrel houses. I don't know if I'm going to do all that extra shit, man. Just... Thank you, Wicked Hebrew, for your donation. Somebody calling. Uh-oh. Peace, God, peace.
Come on, man. Last night to Zanzibar. What's going on?
Peace. How you feel? Kwan. How you feel, Fuquan? Peace.
There you go. No, I'm just cooling it, man. But since you brought up this, I have done my own research. I just left from the FBI headquarters, and I just wanted to let all these islanders or whatever. Yes, Jackie Chan started the reggae movement. So if they taking everything from black people, from sugar to the GPS to the railroads, this and that, when you look at that, okay, if you're not really extensively looking, you would think and assume that white people created and generated all this. So why not let the Chinese take something for them? They don't consider themselves black anyway. So I just wanted to let y'all know, and I'm sorry, I know a lot of rosters cutting their dreads at this point, but Jackie Chan is the godfather of reggae.
Okay. Great to talk to you, man. Yeah, it sounds like you had a hard day at the job, and you're sipping a cold one, as you should. As you should.
No, ain't sipping. Just sitting back, just cooling it, laying it down, man. But
you on the patio? You got the grill going.
Nah, man, no.
Do you have on the Gucci or the Prada slides? Gucci or Prada slides?
No, we'll do that. No, I think the material age was over past 25. So I ain't into the materials like that. But I just wanted to let the roster man know the godfather of reggae is Jackie Chan.
Okay,
I'm out. Last night is there.
Peace. Okay, that's an old hating Jersey nigga. He's good people though. That nigga, he's still getting money. Don't let him fool you. He gets the brand new Benz every year. Every year. Peace. How do I say your name? I can't pronounce it. It's with the CHEA. Charlena. Hi, Charlena. Well, thank you, baby. I'm enjoying North Carolina right now. I'm supposed to be back up north. I just been prolonging. I got to stop in Philly. I got to go to New York City. I've been busy, but Thank you for your donation. You are a good-looking woman. Okay. I think we're done with some of these notes here. We've been having a very healthy discussion. Started this afternoon. This is a research show, in case you don't know. Did Chinese people help create reggae music in Jamaica? Unlike the Hispanics, again, who assisted the black art form known as hip hop, I'm saying the Chinese were a very integral part of the formation of the music. They were already intertwined in the culture. Let's not play that game. And they worked with their fellow countrymen and presented it to the world. Guys, if you don't know who Patricia Chin is, aka Miss Pat, please do some research. You will see a beautiful woman, not even 5 feet tall. The knowledge that's within her head, and she's got a book out. I never had long conversations with her, just, quick, hey, hello, hey, how's it going? Good morning, good to see you, because I was working for Atlantic Records, Reprise Records, Asylum, Elektra, and I used to go to different one-stops, mom and pops, and I would go there with, boxes of cleans. A box of cleans was how you tried to persuade people. If they were billboard reporting stores or radio reporting stores. Anybody ever heard of Downtown Records in New York City? Oh, those were my niggas, Puerto Ricans down there. I'm not going to say their names, but I used to take them cleans all the time. And the cleans, meaning they did not have there was no holes punched in the vinyl, the covers, so they could sell it at retail value. So I used to go to VP Records and other places. King Simon knows all this stuff. And she was such a sweet woman. She said, hi, hello. Very, what's the word? Approachable. And keep in mind, when you watch her interviews, and I hope that you do, watch her, listen to her, notice how she says, my music. I'm looking at live chat. Anybody ever seen Miss Pat, a.k.a. Patricia Chin, when she talks about reggae and other things, she says, my music, my. Okay. Guys, I want to take one more call and then take a break. Hold on a second. Let's see if I can get this caller. You're going to be my last call before my break. Are you there? You ready? Good evening, 470.
I'm here. I'm back, actually. I'm back. So
wait.
Different topic.
Well, wait. Now, I don't usually talk to people twice. Is this the Yankee girl whose family is from Jamaica?
Yes, we done. We done with that. You want to know about my half-breed pitney them? You want to know about my people them from y'all? That's done. That's a separate. We done.
Where do you want to start? Okay, you have the floor. Go ahead.
Okay, so no, I just wanted to kind of touch on. You were talking about, black banking and the distrust for black banks or startup black banks.
That wasn't really a topic. I was just somewhat sort of I don't know how we even got to that. It's not something I want to do a deep dive in now. Is it something you wanted to make reference to? I'll let you finish.
No. Well, yeah, so this is my first. So I'm going to be. This is my first time really on watching your show. I'm going to start watching now. My friend put me on, but I just wanted to touch on that. I'm actually in finance, so that's kind of why I did want to just touch very shortly on that.
Go ahead.
I was just saying that. For us, it's a history of irresponsibility. So I think the fact that we are trying to branch out, it's a good thing. We used to have our own towns, we used to have our own banks, but it just has to be the right way and a little bit of stability with that. You know, there's so many Ponzi schemes. There's so many get rich quick schemes. It just has to be put out the right way and formulated the right way, I feel like.
I hear you. And you sound like a knowledgeable person. You're college educated, yes?
Correct.
Yeah. I'm just a high school dropout, so don't take what I say too serious. Okay, so
there's different types of sense. Just because you read books and pass school doesn't mean that you're more knowledgeable than somebody who did it.
Okay. So now, are you involved in black credit unions or banking or both?
Banking. I'm open to it. If a black credit union would recruit me to work for them, I'm open to that. But I'm definitely in the financial arena.
You spoke about when you said us not taking advantage. Can you say that again? I missed that part. Or not being educated. How'd you phrase that?
No, not about not being educated. I was just saying that some people take the degrees and value it maybe. So there's book sense and there's common sense. Just because you have either or, it's really best to have a combination of both. But, both can get the job done. As far as the
No. Hang on. I was asking or responding to what you said about people not taking advantage of, I forget how you phrased that, something with banking or credit unions.
Oh, well, we don't take advantage of really trying, if you don't have the knowledge, like trying to gain it. So I'm a young black professional in this field, and let's say I'm 31. Okay. Somebody in their early 20s or 25, they come into my office, I'm a bank manager. Hey, I want to do X, Y, Z. I want to build credit. I want to own a home. And I sit here and, kind of pour into them the knowledge, the steps that they need to attain these things. And nobody wants grit. Nobody wants hard work. Everybody wants to get rich overnight or scam or whatever, have Pookie and them fix their credit. So
PPP,
that's why
PPP loans and all that fly shit.
Right.
Yeah. I have a theory.
What's the theory?
I think black people are too concerned with being mystified, and then God will make a way. Jesus is going to make it all right, as opposed to pooling the resources together. You got to get that preacher man out the way. We got too many Creflo dollars out here. Bishop T.D. Jakes. We got too many of these niggas eating high off the hog. And just doing all sorts of fugazi stuff. Whereas you have the Chinese, the Hakka, to be precise, who I laid out so many examples with regards to how they managed to rise up in Jamaica. Robert Jackson Chin was giving them credit. Credit.
So I'll say this.
Do you think that credit?
That's true.
Do you think that credit unions might be somewhat of a solution to the, I don't know, to the much needed success of quote unquote black people? Credit unions.
That's a there's no one solution. Okay. I work for, I'm not going to mention which one, but one of the top five, one of the big banks. And I also have a credit union. So it's not like one or the other is the solution to all.
Okay.
It's the knowledge on how to carry yourself.
Okay.
And how to move.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I judge females, if they have bad credit, I consider her to be a bum bitch and I have no interest in her. Gotta have credit. Listen, I'm wild. I thank you for the call. I gotta take my break. Thank you so much for calling back. All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Bye now. Okay. All right. Star Report back in the building. This has been a research edition. We're having a great conversation about did Chinese people help create reggae music in Jamaica? I say yes. I say 50-50. There's too many examples and sources, and a lot of those people haven't spoken up, or spoken against, traditional Jamaican culture, if you will, because, they catch a lot of flack in Jamaica. I'm not sure if Rastafari Ministries is available, but salute to Crime Skills. I knew Crime Skills was going to call in. He called me a snake. Yeah, snake. You're trying to start things, trouble and ting on ting. Nat, pardon me. Nat, I got your donation. Let me slow down. Nat, I got your donation. Salute, supporting the machine. Thank you, Nat. Let me slow down. Okay, Maurice, I guess you're busy. Thank you for your support, sir. Okay. HudsonTubs.com. Okay, anybody else want to chime in? Robert, thank you so much for the link to Lorna Chen. I'm going to watch more of her Instagram videos. Going 10 toes down. Chinese, she's Chinese and she's Jamaican. Let's not get it twisted. Guys, phone lines are open. Come on, can I get a few more Jamaicans on the line? I want to hear from somebody with regards to the mining that's going on in Jamaica. Educate me, please. I'm that's one of the reasons why I want to go to Jamaica and see it before they dig all into a cockpit country. That's going to be sad if they go in there looking for, what we've been talking about earlier. And they're going. It's a U.S. mining company. Bauxite. So I want to go see Cockpit Country. I want to see Trench Town. Do they still have the trenches in the streets? I don't get too graphic because it's a research show. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but anybody from Jamaica, do they still have the trenches in the streets where people flush the bathroom toilets and all it goes into the trenches and the whole place stinks. Area code 347. Are you there? Good evening, 347.
Peace, star.
Hey, who's this?
King Simon calling back. I want to talk about that bauxite.
Hey, man. Good to hear. Good to hear. Hey, we've been having a good conversation, King Simon. Thank you, man.
Yeah, no, I love what y'all been doing. It's been good. I like what everybody's contribution was good. It was good. Some I disagree, some I agree, but I want to deal with that bauxite because right where you say you want to go, Cockpit Country, that's around Trelawney and St. Elizabeth. That's where my mother grew up back in the day, and that's where the Maroon Town is.
Okay.
Come on now. That's why those are the warriors. And a matter of fact, there's a new president or a new chief of Maroon Town, which is a younger dude. So I'm not surprised they want to displace the Maroons, and I know they're going to fight. If they're going to try to go in there, they're going to fight because Maroons were not no joke back in the day in history. I got a book called The Maroons and War.
Okay.
So I know they wasn't no joke back in those days. So yes, bauxite was used for building roads and buildings and all that. We know those are the materials that they use. So if America's coming in, all these other places coming in to try to dig out, they're going to fight that. They're going to try to fight. They're going to have to fight that because they was given that land.
Right.
We got to remember there was a treaty that was formed by that land. Because my mother and all my family some of my family is from there. So that's when you said bauxite, I said, oh man, if they're doing that in Cockpit Country, which is Trelawney and St. Elizabeth, them area there, then that's where the problem. They're trying to displace the Maroons that got the land.
Well, listen,
they slick. It's an underhand.
I don't know, and that's why I'm asking because this is a sovereign group, as you just said. They are used to fighting. They are used to fighting, so they may have some type of war. In Jamaica. Now, has the U.S. mining company started to go in there with regards to the mining, or is this something in the future?
I've been hearing stories about it, and I personally have been trying to contact the chief. I tried to DM him and email him so I can interview him on my show.
Okay.
But he hasn't responded. I don't know what's going on, but this is a new guy. It's a young guy, young, vibrant, so he's coming with new energy.
Okay.
So whatever's happening, I don't know what they're doing as far as that. I'm going to have to ask one of my cousins that's still out there what's happening. But that I know, if they're doing anything, you know how if America's coming in there, we know they're like a military corporation. I'm going to throw a stone here while we're doing something else there. We got something they want to do. They know the Maroons have been a very devastating factor in warfare back in the day, but I think they kind of soften up a little. I'm telling you, they're not the same as they was back in the day. They're not the same. I don't believe they're the same.
Hey, man,
so I hope nothing happens.
I want to see it with my own eyes before, whatever happens, happens. But America, pardon me, Jamaica used to be the leading producer in the world.
Yes, of bauxite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and a lot of my family was in Spanish Town, where the bauxite was also. Bauxite used to be there, but I think they removed that bauxite plant there, and now they want to go there where the trees and everything. It's a beautiful space. I remember going through St. Elizabeth and those places when I was younger. Beautiful spot. Mountainous and trees and everything. So that's why they was able to fight them off back in the day, especially when you start going towards Blue Mountain and all these different other places where there was a lot of trees. You gotta, they're doing something else, I believe. From my opinion, they're trying to do something else, because this young, vibrant, new energy that's there, this young guy. So that's why I've been trying to reach him to see what's up, so I can help contribute to his cause to see what's happening.
I've heard of Blue Mountain, but they haven't started going into there looking for a bauxite, have they?
No, I don't think they started going there. That wouldn't make, that's the beauty of Jamaica. You want to make sure you maintain the Blue Mountain and the coffee industry and all that. Even the Marleys have a coffee thing out there, in different parts of Jamaica. So they're doing their thing also. But you don't want to mess up the mountain scenery, because that's where waterfalls and all that beauty, the beautiful
King Simon, the grafted man, the Caucasian, cares not about beauty. The grafted man will go into Blue Mountain and these other places if and when he needs to. He will find a way. Now, according to my research, again, you and I just spoke about. Once was the leading producer of bauxite. They had 4 large refineries in Jamaica. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Yeah,
I've got to go. I've got to go just to see it, and even if I just spend a week there, just to say I went there. What's going on with the shrinking beaches? Are they doing anything to stop that, or can they not stop the shrinking beaches?
Well, for years, about 25 years, I read an article in the Caribbean News that Jamaica was sinking.
Yeah.
Every year. Yeah. So there's a certain centimeter that is shrinking. So of course the beaches are shrinking like that. Yeah. The Jamaica itself is sinking. So a lot of those islands are sinking. So that's what we got to look at. That I read this article back when I was on WWRL 1600. Okay. So I remember that article.
Oh. You just reminded me of something.
Yes.
Do you think white people are trying to sink the island intentionally after they get all the box right out of there?
That would be interesting.
There's no more money. There's no more money here
with the harp machine.
The harp project. Hey, you referenced you did radio for a lot of years yourself. Do you know about what is her name? She was fired. She let go from WURD in Philly. Did you know that? Hold on a second.
Cool.
The woman who what is her name? Andrea Lawful Sanders. She the woman who interviewed Joe Biden after the debate with with Donald Trump. The black woman. They fired her from WURD.
I did not know that.
Philly. Yeah, out of here.
I did not know that. Yeah. I did not know that.
She went on CNN. Wow. She went on CNN and admitted that the Biden administration sent her questions for Joe Biden, and she stuck to the script. You and I know, and everybody in Philly knows, WURD is an independent black-owned radio station. So for her
part of the Black Network.
Right. For her to agree to these questions, that goes against everything that station has stood for. They got rid of her, in case you don't know.
That's right.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I got to go research that because I didn't know that. I didn't know that information. I haven't even kept up with the madness.
Mammy. You got Mammy about it. Did she take a bag? That's the question. Did Mammy take a bag? Fired. Good riddance. Hey, man, anything else with regards to that topic? Chinese people.
Well, again, I want to salute everybody that came on, and Miss Pat is all due respect. Matter of fact, my cousin has a picture of Miss Pat because he did a lot of artwork for VP back in the day, for album covers and all that. So no big ups. We don't do big ups. Respect to Miss Pat. Yeah. Respect to Miss Pat and respect to iCal Beckford, who have done all the artwork and showing that respect. And thank you very much for this topic. I was sending it to a lot of radio disc jockeys like DJ Roy and them so they can see what you're doing. Copeland Forbes. I sent it to him. I was going to send it to James Goyen from VP Records. James Goyen, but I don't have his number no more. I don't have his number.
If you contact him, tell him I said, what's up? Been a long time. Yeah.
Yeah. I know you would know that name.
Lot of respect for those people, man. Salute. Thank you, King Simon. Thank you so much. Yes, sir. Okay.
Salute. All right.
Put some respect on Miss Pat's name.
Shows like I'm tired.